of Africa, Chad's interim president Mahamat Idris Deby Itno confirms his candidature in this year's long-awaited presidential race. His confirmation came at the end of a chaotic week in which opposition politician Yaya Dillo was killed in the capital N'Djamena. Gang violence in Haiti escalates. Residents flee capital Port-au-Prince as the besieged Prime Minister Ariel Henry was in Kenya signing an agreement allowing police deployment. And a Nigerian designer seeks to challenge norms with gender-fluid fashion. World of Africa, at these times, only on WION. World is One.
Welcome to our election show, Race to Power. I'm Ananya Datta and I'm here to tell you what your leaders are doing and not doing. Here's what we have lined up for you tonight. 8 months ahead of Election Day in the United States, millions are out and about to cast their vote. This is Super Tuesday for you, where 16 states and 1 territory have opened their ballots. We will tell you why this day is going to become more crucial for Nikki Haley than Joe Biden and Donald Trump combined. In India, the electoral bond debate is back. Just last month, the Supreme Court ordered the bank to declare all donations by March 6th. But just a day before the deadline, the State Bank of India has asked for more time, something that will definitely overlap with elections in India. The question is, will the top court allow it? You know how all of us feel the month-end financial blues? For UK's Rishi Sunak, the blues are political in nature. Another month-end report has brought with it bad spell for his Tory party. It is so bad that it's the lowest rating for Conservatives by the pollster. It is one of 2024's most consequential days for US politics. A day that has been dubbed as Super Tuesday, and rightly so. It is the deciding lap in the race of both parties' presidential nominations. The Super Tuesday polling is underway, and millions of Americans are casting their votes in 16 states and 1 territory. It is important to note here that only Democrat voters will cast their ballots in Iowa. Before this Tuesday, the early nominating contests had already garnered quite a bit of attention. However, those states awarded less than 11% of the total delegates in the nominating contests. Now, more than a third of the total delegates are at stake for both Republicans and Democrats. In fact, California and Texas alone account for more than 300 delegates. Both Joe Biden and Donald Trump haven't had to sweat much so far at least, and they are likely to maintain their momentum through Super Tuesday. However, neither candidate can win a majority of the delegates until later in March. Both of them are likely to pass the quote-unquote magic number on March 12th or 19th. On the Republican side, former President Trump is looking to enter Wednesday with a commanding lead in the delegate count. The question is whether his lone challenger, Nikki Haley, can gain any traction. She has won only 1 contest so far, the primary in Washington, D.C. Even though she is falling far behind in terms of delegates, Haley insists that Republicans deserve a second option. But unless she puts a rather unexpected show in the next few hours, they won't have that option anymore. For Democrats, Biden is only aiming for a strong showing. as he gears up for a possible rematch with Donald Trump in November. The president has come from a wake-up call in Michigan. He won the Democratic primary there easily, but more than 100,000 primary voters chose to be quote-unquote uncommitted over voting for the president. He has faced challenges over his approach to Israel's war in Gaza and is likely to face a similar hurdle in at least few states. In Minnesota, Muslim community leaders are urging voters to opt for the uncommitted option on their Democratic primary ballot. Now, it is interesting here that 8 months, full 8 months ahead of the actual D-Day in the United States, that's going to be November 5th of this year, millions of people are out and about to vote for their ballots in 16 states and 1 territory, and that 1 territory is also interestingly more closer to Australia than the mainland of United States. What's also interesting is that in the electoral process in the United States, the people, the voters, do not actually vote directly for the president. What happens is in the primaries and caucuses, they vote for the delegates. Now, the delegates, after a few months of counting, which you see in 16 states and 1 region in America today, the delegates will then choose their president. So it's absolutely important that both the leaders, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, get enough delegates to become the nominee for their fellow Democratic and Republican parties. Now, this is where Nikki Haley comes in. Nikki Haley has had a very poor show so far. She has won only 1 contest, which was the primary in Washington, D.C. However, the reason this could be a game changer is because she needs to have either a plan to go on beyond this, or she will have to have an exit plan. Because if she doesn't have the delegates, she doesn't have the numbers, well, she doesn't have the votes.
Calls those who oppose him vermin.
नरेंद्र मोदी, बताओ ना कि तुमको क्यों परिवार में कोई संतान नहीं हो?
चौकीदार चोर है नारा है, चौकीदार चोर है सच्चाई है, और चौकीदार चोर है रियलिटी।
21वीं सदी में नरेंद्र मोदी कभी भी देश के प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बनेंगे। यहाँ आकर चाय का वितरण करना चाहते हैं तो हम उनके लिए कुछ जगह बना दें।
The row over Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's family remark continues to dominate the political landscape in India. While the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party was quick to turn the jibe into a full-blown social media campaign, it seems like the opposition is still struggling to catch up.
The Bharatiya Janata Party, which has dominated India's political landscape for 10 long years, has yet again successfully converted opposition jibes into a campaign push. Here's what happened earlier this week. Prominent opposition leader Lalu Yadav made a personal remark against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Yadav was speaking at an opposition mega rally in Patna on Sunday. Take a look at what the Rashtriya Janata Dal patriarch said.
What can we do if Narendra Modi does not have a family of his own?
The Saffron Party wasted no time in turning around the swipe. Less than 24 hours later, at a public rally in Telangana, Prime Minister Modi underlined that his family boasts of quote-unquote 1.4 billion Indians.
मैं इनके परिवारवाद पर सवाल उठाता हूं तो इन लोगों ने बोलना शुरू कर दिया है कि मोदी का कोई परिवार नहीं है, कि मैं देशवासियों के लिए जीऊंगा, मेरा पल पल सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपके लिए होंगे.
By Monday evening, all prominent union ministers, BJP lawmakers and their supporters added Modi ka Parivar next to their social media account names. The phrase translates to Modi's family in English. BJP workers and volunteers also shared their pictures with t-shirts printed with similar slogans that read, "I am Modi's family." But this is not the first or even the second time that the BJP has outmaneuvered the opposition, turning their stinkers on their heads. Back in 2019, in the build-up to the general election, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi also took a similar snipe at PM Modi. He alleged that Modi, who calls himself a chowkidar or a gatekeeper against corruption, is a thief himself. Rahul coined the slogan "Chowkidar chor hai" or "the gatekeeper is a thief." The slogan soon became the opposition's central campaign call.
चौकीदार चोर है,
Chowkidar is a thief. This is the slogan. This is the truth.
reality.
But this did not bode well for the opposition. The BJP quickly turned the accusation into a political call supporting the PM. Much like this week, all prominent ministers and BJP leaders also added Chowkidar before their names on their Twitter handles. Several campaign videos were also released on similar lines. But to what end? Well, the BJP returned to power with an even stronger mandate as compared to 2014. It is important to note here that even BJP's 2014 campaign was not free from personal attacks on Modi and the BJP turning it around. Quite early in the 2014 campaign, senior Congress leader of that time, Manishankar Iyer, made these remarks.
मैं आपको वायदा करता हूं,
I promise that Narendra Modi can never be the Prime Minister of this country. Yes, if he wants to distribute tea here, then we can surely make some arrangements.
नहीं बनेंगे.
Iyer was taking a dig at Modi's early life when the latter used to sell tea at the Varanasi railway station. The BJP used the chaiwala or the tea seller reference to strike a chord with millions of voters across the country. Seeking a third straight term in power, the BJP remains at the front foot while turning the opposition poll narrative on its head. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Staying with India, the electoral bond issue is giving more ammunition to the Indian opposition leaders to attack the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party government. The State Bank of India has sought over 3 months to disclose details of the money received by political parties through these electoral bonds. Now, Supreme Court of India scrapped the scheme just last month, ruling that it violated the voters' fundamental right to information. Now, the State Bank of India is the only bank in the country that was authorized to issue and encash the bonds. The Supreme Court not only told the bank to stop issuing the bonds, but also ordered it to share the details of all donations between 2019 and 2024 by March 6th. That's tomorrow. Now the State Bank of India has asked the Supreme Court to give it time till June 30th to furnish the details. Now the CBI said that over 22,000 bonds worth over 165 billion rupees were issued to political parties between April of 2019 and February 15th this year. The Narendra Modi government brought the electoral bond scheme in early 2018. It provided an alternative to cash donations for political parties. Under the scheme, anyone, be it for companies, individuals, they could make anonymous donations by purchasing electoral bonds. The bonds were issued in multiples of thousands. According to publicly available information, the BJP got more funds via electoral bonds than all other parties combined. Opposition parties have voiced their concerns about the secrecy of the bonds. The details of the bonds may both be available till after the upcoming elections. Opposition leaders have alleged a conspiracy between the Narendra Modi-led government and the State Bank of India. Opposition leaders say that it is all being done to hide the actual source of the BJP's funds. Posting his reaction on the social media platform X, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi alleged that every independent organization of the country is trying to cover up their corruption by becoming party to the crime. Now, another month-end report spells trouble for Rishi Sunak and the Conservative Party. What caused the downward spiral for the Tories is the question. And is there hope for them to recover before elections? We decode in our next report.
Month after month after month, bad news continues to plague UK's ruling Conservative Party, with elections scheduled to be held later this year. The approval rating for Tories has dropped further. A poll by Ipsos UK reveals that the Sunak-led party has dipped to a rating of just 20% in February, tanking 7% in only 1 month. The Tories also trail behind their political rivals, with the Labour Party securing a lead at 47% approval rating. But the news gets worse for the ruling party. This is the lowest statistic recorded for the Conservatives by Ipsos, ever since the political tracker was established in 1978. The rating is 3% lower than the brief premiership of Liz Truss, who was UK's Prime Minister for just 45 days, before the reins were handed over to Rishi Sunak in 2022. A slew of factors are said to have influenced the growing disapproval of voters. First, Sunak's Rwanda asylum policy in the wake of record-high migration and the UK Supreme Court's subsequent rejection of the provision has made the Prime Minister fairly unpopular. Second, UK's stance pertaining to the war in Gaza has drawn public condemnation over the government's inaction in providing humanitarian relief to the war-ravaged enclave. Lastly, the growing division within the Tory camp over who leads the next election has also played a key role in its downfall. In yet another blow to Rishi Sunak, UK Housing Secretary Michael Gove had pegged former Prime Minister Boris Johnson as a better fit to be the campaign frontliner for the party. Additionally, several Conservative leaders have publicly spoken of not contesting the polls later this year. And the latest to join this list is ex-London Minister Paul Scully. The latest poll result also comes just days ahead of Sunak's party revealing the spring budget, a move which is being seen as a last-ditch effort by the Tories to save face in the upcoming polls. While voters and stakeholders wait to see what changes the budget might bring, political analysis and Britons remain sceptical of the Tories returning to power. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Clouds of political uncertainty loom over Senegal after the incumbent president Macky Sall tried to delay polls. There is still no date on when elections will be held in the West African nation.
Senegalese mechanic Ousmane Sane says he won't vote for the country's ruling Benno Bokk Yakaar anymore. It's a view that could reflect how an unresolved democratic crisis in the country may have shaken support for President Macky Sall's coalition.
The reason I won't vote for Benno anymore is simply that I trusted them, but not anymore. That trust has been betrayed.
In February, Sall issued a shock decree to delay an election just weeks before it was due to take place. That prompted unrest and dented Senegal's reputation as one of West Africa's more stable countries. It also revived widespread fears that Sall was trying to tweak the constitution to stay in power for longer. He denies this. A court overruled his decree, but too late to keep to the original electoral schedule. Mustafa Gay voted for Sall at the last two elections.
Talking about elections.
Sall cited concerns over potential election disputes as the reason for the delay. However, many believe he and Benno Bokk Yakaar tried to postpone the vote because they were unsure about their own candidate, Amadou Ba, and wanted time to think. Statistician Mubarak Lowe, an advisor to the Prime Minister, said the recent upheaval does appear to have led to a fall in support. He said that only 60% of those who voted for Sall in the last election are believed to be planning to vote for Benno Bokyakar's candidate this time. But Low cautioned against drawing any conclusions on the outcome, saying that the situation at the moment is total confusion. Authorities have still not confirmed a date for the vote. June 2nd has been proposed as a potential date. When the election does come around, however, Sall will find out whether his decision to postpone may have been a costly political miscalculation.
Now on to some more election-related stories from India that might have missed. Ahead of the general elections in India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has embarked on a 10-day visit to 12 states across the country. On the first leg of the tour, Prime Minister visited the opposition-ruled states of Telangana and Tamil Nadu on March 4th. The Prime Minister is also scheduled to visit Odisha, West Bengal, Jammu and Kashmir, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat and Rajasthan over the coming week. During the trip, Modi is slated to participate in 29 programs where he will be engaging with voters to bolster support for the upcoming parliamentary polls. The Bharatiya Janata Party-led Uttar Pradesh government has expanded its cabinet ahead of the impending general elections. 4 new ministers have been included in the cabinet of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. The induction saw 2 new faces, namely Anil Kumar from the Rashtriya Lok Dal Party and also O.P. Rajbahar from Suheldev Bharatiya Samaj Party. Alongside them, 2 new faces from the BJP, namely Dara Singh Chauhan and Sunil Kumar Sharma, have also been inducted. The current UP Council of Ministers now has 52 members. More defections ahead of elections in India. Former Gujarat Congress President Arjun Morwadia has joined the Bharatiya Janata Party a day after quitting the Indian National Congress. Along with Morwadia, 2 other Congress MLAs have also joined the BJP. In a letter to Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, Morwadia said that he felt helpless to contribute to the people and hence he is resigning from the party. He further added that he had voiced dissent when the Congress decided to decline the invitation for the inauguration of Ram Temple in Ayodhya. Ahead of elections, India's Ministry for Electronics and Information Technology has issued advisory on the use of artificial intelligence. The government has said that companies that own artificial intelligence platforms should ensure that their services do not threaten the integrity of electoral process. The advisory was sent to generative artificial intelligence platform owning companies like Google and OpenAI, as well as the ones that run similar platforms. The government has also expressed that the advisory is a signal to the future course of action that India will take to control, rather regulate, artificial intelligence. Now, moments after US Supreme Court granted Donald Trump major relief in the Colorado ballot ban case, the former US president has once again stirred controversy with his migrant remarks and, unsurprisingly, pot shots at Joe Biden in his address. This is our segment of Power Play.
Let's face it, this country is a mess. We got 15, 16 million people came in, and they came in from prisons and jails. They came in from mental institutions and insane asylums. They're terrorists, they're drug dealers. We are really going to be a very different country. We have to have it stopped. With your help, we will win big on Super Tuesday, and this November, Virginia is going to tell crooked Joe Biden, you're fired.
And with that, we are wrapping up this edition of Race to Power. Thanks for watching with me and Anya Datta. Goodbye.
India's Global Voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one.
Makers of New India, a special WION series.
We are in a small town in southern India where big stories are written.
Hanyo means it is a Konkani word, come here. In India, that time ice cream was little picking up. We thought why we should not start this concept in India.
We think customer is our family member. When we are making ice cream, we think that we are making ice cream for our family.
WION Health Resort is unique.